Morning, everybody. Happy Labor Day. Happy Monday. Hope everybody's having a great day. The weather's not great. Weather is not great. But it's a warm east wind. It's a warm rain. It could be worse. Could be snowing. So here we go. Let's do the morning fishing report. I left the dock this morning at 5:45 in the dark. It was mid-60s. It's probably about that now. Excuse me. Gray overcast sky all morning. It's been raining all day. Sometimes hard, but not terrible by any means. Water temp this morning 72.2. I came out to 1:30 this morning. Came right straight here. Had very little wind this morning when I came out. It was just a ripple. It's east northeast, same as it was yesterday. Not nearly as stiff, at least not yet. Although I think it's supposed to pick up here some, and it has throughout the day. You know, you got a 1 foot roll. You can see if it's a little white. Well, it's white, but it's not terrible. It's actually a beautiful drift. I got on them pretty quickly by the second drift, so I came up into 130, but for the first time ever, and I've been doing this the last couple days. I did it on the St. Lawrence 2 days ago. I've really been using I have a Garmin unit. I believe Lowrance and Humminbird all have the same feature. It's Garmin calls it the active map or live map or something, where you have to put a mini SD card in your unit, and then you hit the record button, and it's recording over the map your fishing chart on your GPS portion of your fish finder. It's recording in real time over the map, telling you exactly what the bottom is, as opposed to the contours that the map had on there. I have a Lakeview map. I have the most updated one you can get. It does not show, it's showing generalizations, is what I found out. And today around 1:30 changed everything for me. I will never have my fish finder on where I'm not in active target or active mapping program recording, because the bottom is so different just in this one spot. The bottom is so different, and as I'm going along, you can see the contour lines are changing, and I have my personal unit is set up with a different color every 5 feet of depth, so I can look at my map quickly and see the different colors and go, okay, I want to be whatever. I want to be fishing 10 to 15 today. That's green. Where's all my green? So it's changing colors, it's changing contour lines, and all of a sudden you're finding things that are there that map didn't show you. It didn't. Now, maybe this is a revelation that I'm coming to late. I'm sure it is. But I messed around with it a little bit this spring. I messed around with it a little bit last fall. Something felt wonky about it. I didn't really understand it, so I just ignored it, avoided it, whatever, which is what I do in a lot of situations. If I don't fully grasp it conceptually, my wife knows that. She told me to start doing a fishing report a year and a half ago. I waited till this spring. Whatever. Fishing's fishing. But it's changed everything, because I'm going along and all of a sudden they'll be like, okay, it's this, it says it was this, and all of a sudden there's a hump there, and there's fish on the upwind side of it, even though everything around it's 25 feet deep. This hump comes up to 19, and there's fish right on that hump. I'm like, oh, you're right where you're supposed to be. If I knew that hump was there, which I do now I can go check specific spots within a spot. Now, if you were drifting over it and you're drifting and casting and you're like me, in between every cast or multiple times a cast, I'm glancing with my eyes to where my fish finder is to see if I'm marking fish. You're not watching the contour of that bottom all the time, and then your map shows it's supposed to just be flat here. So now you might run across fish and you might get fish to bite because you're casting into that sweet spot without knowing you're doing it, because nothing telling you on your electronics that there was a sweet spot there. I'm going over and I'm like, and time after time, I'm like, oh, there's a wolf pack, bait, fish. You know, I mean, they were all in those spots. And I'll tell you, if I was a troller today, I would have been trolling. I would have had all my lures at between 10 to 13 feet, because time after time after time, I've been active mapping now for the last 2 hours. It's addicting. You feel like an explorer. I feel like Magellan or Columbus or Gallo or whatever, because I'm seeing with my eyes something new for the first time. And granted, other people have done it. I'm sure other people do it all the time. I guess I never really realized the power of it, because now on that drop off, it's not just a straight drop off that goes like this. Where I thought I was on the drop off, turns out I wasn't. You know, in the fish, you come off that drop off and you see all those fish suspended out there. What are they? Well, my first instinct is those are smallmouth, but they don't have to be. You know, but now I can go look at exact spots. And that spot within a spot is going to change things. I guarantee it. And I haven't even stopped and fished since I started. So this morning, my morning fishing report is I went back to Homie the Clown. I found these fish with my active map, and I had probably 5 or 6 drifts on them, and they seemed to be a school of shorts. So I started weeding through them. I ended up with 6 walleyes, 1 keeper, 5 shorts. 2 of the 5 shorts were right there, like 14-ish. So, you know, they were small to medium size in that school. Okay, great. And then I got a giant gill, giant bluegill. Man, he was not a pumpkin seed. The orange ones had that strawberry belly and that big deal on the end of his gill plate, the like purple or blue, you know, blue gill, I guess. And so then I went back up and I saw where this drop off curved like this, whereas it went in, which meant there was a harder, like a point sticking out, like a little tit on that drop off. It turns out it went like this, and when I went around, I'm like, oh man, there's fish, boom, 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 boom. So I marked it, and then I'm like, well, I'm gonna go back this way and see what that drop off does on the other side that it doesn't say. And it was totally different. And then I got hooked, and I've been driving around at 5.5 miles an hour, which for my unit, I found out today doing this is the perfect speed. Once you hit 6 miles an hour or up, that you get a lot of static and a lot of noise, and then I worry that I'm not getting a good reading on bottom, which is what I'm trying to do. So that 5 miles an hour was my sweet spot, and that was the last time I had the rod in my hand this morning. I've been driving back and forth across this known structure and revealing all the other structure for the last 2.5 hours. I am completely addicted, and also super excited now because I'm going in, that either if the weather clears up, I'm going to try and get Mama back out here tonight, and if not, I'll be out here first thing in the morning, and I'll still have my new active mapping feature on because I'm never turning it off again. But now I can go right back to those specific spots and go, okay, this hump had fish on it in this wind in this spot, and now I can go back and check specifics, because I don't believe that it's so random that those fish are there one day and they'll never be there again. They were there for a reason. We now found the spot that they are on for a reason. So now we can go back and check said spot in certain scenarios and see, okay, now let's refine it. This hump has fish in an east-northeast wind in this location. Now, tomorrow it's a west wind, let's say. I'm going to go back and I'll start where they were, because maybe there was another feature that I didn't see that held them there even in a reverse wind, which would mean a reverse current. And I don't know how deep that current gets, but I got to think with wind direction, those fish are turning like a weather vane down below into that wind all the time. That's what I think. Don't shoot the messenger. I've just got ideas. So that's what I think. If you think differently, put in the comments below. I know fish always nose first into current. No matter what kind of trout, salmon, warm water, salt water, if there's current moving, they're nosed into it. So, how much current does the wind generate and how deeply subsurface does the surface current go? Question mark. Give your thoughts and answers below. I'm out of here. Was a lot of fun this morning. I can't wait to get back out here either later today or tomorrow. Have a great Labor Day. Yeah, have a great Labor Day.